Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to do a BAS to query stage. So first up, the client I'm working on is D&B Jones Family Trust. So what I'm going to do is jump into Virtual Cabinet. Now the way I like to sort it is, so say we're doing the BAS for December, I'm going to search for D&B Jones Activity Statement 2020. And I can see what we had last quarter as well. So I've just condensed March and June. So September 2020. It's a good idea just to look at these first to know what's expected, as well as the job budget as well. Now, this client that I'm working on is on a monthly fee. So I think we charge about $1,000 a month for all of their work. So you can't really determine what the BAS is, but you probably want to stick to around $700, $800. So, I might go to the job in Workflow Max and put the budget in. And this job will already have some time on the clock because I've done some other work for them before this. So D&B Jones, I've jumped into here. In the job, I just edit the job. In the budget, I might say 800. So that number will normally be whatever the budget was last quarter, whatever the invoice was last quarter. So you'd make that, what it is this quarter. So then you can see how far along you are. So at the moment now, I could go back and check and refresh that jumper because it's some extra work. So you can see, I've pretty much got to complete the BAS in the next 2 hours for me, essentially, something like that. So it gives you a rough idea. You should probably send a job to review with half of the WIP. So say the budget is 800, you should probably try and send the job to WIP with 400. That way it goes through the review stage and everything and gets completed within budget. It's generally pretty hard with BASs, but we try our best. So that is that. So back to this stage, I want to get all these reports first. So first thing I want to do though is get the checklist. So if we grab the checklist in the last quarter, re-index that, and put that into our quarter. So now it's December. And then we start the BAS task in the virtual cabinet. Job in, assigned to me, obviously I'm working on it. We'll open this up now as well. So now you want to enable content up the top. And what we'll do is we'll switch this to the December quarter. That will update all of these items. So for this BAS, we've only got one entity in this group. So we go through. We essentially check off all these items. So this client's on monthly accounting fees. So obviously they are up to date with the fees because we direct debit them each month. So we've got to save in. I'll just keep this just off the screen. I've got a folder with where I keep my documents before I put them into VC. So I'll just be dropping everything into here on my other screen. So I'm going to save a profit and loss statement and a balance sheet. So just for the quarter. Profit and loss statement, just for the quarter, compared against last quarter. So we'll just export that. Now these A, B, and C and D accounts, I just created those for a new HP and I haven't updated the names of them, so I've got to do that. Before we finalize this, but I'll do that outside of this. So just balance sheet, just before we made any adjustments. Profit and loss, do the same thing. Export PDF. Cool. Next thing I want to do is jump onto the ATO. We'll start grabbing documents required for the BAS. So just going through the list so you can see last quarter what we had. So we had, you get the BAS statement, the original BAS statement from the ATO that pre-fills, you get the ICA, do the bank recs. I do payroll before any of this other stuff as well, make sure payroll balances, and then go through the O3 report to see that everything is in, and then we start generating our queries from that as well. So click repair on the BAS and export this. Yeah, so printer friendly version. Then it goes without saying, but feel free to skip through this video for any stages that you actually want to see. I'm trying to go through it in pretty normal order, so you can probably just skip through. You don't need to see me printing out a BAS report. The BAS report will also get the integrated client account statement. I'm going to print the whole thing instead of making it small to the quarter. Sometimes it's good to see things that have happened after the period as well. Same thing, just save it. We're just trying to keep things in pretty similar order to how it's saved previously. So that's what the 01, 02s are for. That's everything you need from the ATO. So we've done that. Now this check here is just to make sure that the figures match back to the management report that you've prepared. So what you do is get your P&L up and your balance sheet up and check it off against your management report that was made last quarter. And if something's out by a lot, it's probably something to investigate. The client's made a change or we've made a change. Carry forward notes. So you should have it attached to this document, or there should be a permanent file notes document attached in VC somewhere for the client. So it's always good to review that as well, because you never know what notes might be on the client's file. I don't reckon we'll have many for this client. So we've got 2 notes here. So total of 04. So I've already done this. So I just did this before I made this video. So resolution date is today. And this is just a note. Note about super payable, how there's post-tax super salary sacrificing happening. So yeah, just the reason why it might not clear out each time. So that is fine. Nothing major in the notes. Sometimes you'll see things that will make you understand where to code things and maybe things not to touch. So it's good to always have a review of that as well. So we've done that. We've done that as well. Yeah. Private lock date updated. So that's just in 0. When you go to settings, so this is always very important. Always make sure that I'll lock it up. Once you've done the BAS, you go to advanced settings, financial settings, and change these lock dates. So we've got, this is where anyone can make, only advisors can make changes. So we haven't done the 2020 year end work for them. So that's why this hasn't been changed, but might as well lock it for now anyway. And this is to stop all users except advisors. So last quarter, so I can still make changes this quarter, which is good. And I'll lock that to end of December. Once I've completed the BAS, I'll lock it to there. So I won't do that right now because I need to make changes to the BAS, but I'll have to do that at the end. So we've done all the steps. So now essentially we go through all these items as well. So I've already done this. No amount outstanding on the ICA. So now we start going through the bank statements and all that. So this client, so you can see obviously from last quarter, they've only got 1 bank rec. So 1 bank statement, that's it. So we'll run that. Export the bank rec report always and make sure that there are no outstanding receipts, which we have. So we've got to investigate this now. Probably a good example. So sometimes what happens is it's just the client will put through a payment on the bank account and it won't have reconciled till after the period. So it might be after the 31st of December. So what we want to check is in each of these transactions, do they reconcile after the date? So if you click into each of them, Fruit by Duncan, 9th of June, it's unreconciled though. This amount is sitting as unreconciled. Yeah, created. So this I reckon it's a duplicate. This one is reconciled on the 8th of January. So this one will be fine. On 9th of January. This one's unreconciled. And this one is reconciled. So we've got two which are reconciled and one which isn't. So what we're going to do is run the bank account statement and see how many items we have that aren't source. Account transactions. And then we check here. So you sort it by the transactions. It'll give you the items that aren't bank feed items. So obviously, not meant to be there if that's the case. So what will normally happen is, I reckon these will be duplicates. So I might use the snip tool just to make sure I know what these transactions are. And then what we'll do is we'll quickly just look around these dates to see if there is a similar amount or if there is a double up. More than always, I'll just delete the transactions, especially if they're minor, like it's not a part of the bank feed. It might be cash payments, which you can query the client on, but I reckon these will be duplicates. Yeah, so we've got a spent amount. So he's obviously done it the wrong way for this amount. If I open up both of these, he's done it the other way around. He's done a spend money and done it the other way. So all I'm going to do with this one is just delete it, remove and redo it. It's just a double up, doesn't match back to the bank feed. So that's Duncan's error. And then the other one was for $340 on the 23rd of December. So what we're going to do is search around that time. Let's have a searching through the feed around 23rd of December and see what happens. Those the other ones were too far off the date. So 23rd of December, anything to center. What's it for? Might Google, I might search through the bank feeds, try and search for the description. Might be split out into different amounts. So what are those? Some Trev, some spells. Okay. Okay, so he's done. I reckon he might have included all that in this invoice. Correct commission, 14th of December. That's the 14th of December. See, that's 340. So anything comes through the bank, that's 340. Not be reconciled in this quarter, the next quarter. All I'm going to do is just ask. We have to add this to the query list. Pretty unusual. He's got an invoice created. He's got a payment allocated from the bank feed, but there's no amount anywhere that I can see. So this will be the first query that I add to Those 2 payments on the 14th. So what I'm going to do is print this PDF and attach it to my email. Have it as a query to Duncan. So start a new email. Everyone has different email formats. I change mine a bit each time as well. So name. Always good to have a look at last quarter what we queried. So that's last quarter. So pretty much it's always good to just copy and paste last quarter, seeing some stuff like dates. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be fine. So got here the business trading account. Yep, statement of business line statement showing the balance at, so we're going to need it 31st of December. So this going to be first of this cash till specific to D&P Jones Family Trust. So essentially what it is, it's items that he pays for in cash from the till. So we record the expenses against kiosk sales because it doesn't deposit the cash. So we'll do that a bit later on. I'm going to attach the PDF from it's the right invoice and not sending something else completely. So attach invoice. Yep. Attach sales invoice, which has been marked as paid on the 23rd. What's the 23rd of December? Marked as paid. Yeah, 23rd of December. However, there is no corresponding bank fee in one. Can you please confirm if the payment has been received or is invoice associated with should potentially be avoided? Okay. We've already got 3 queries there. We can't do the bank rate yet. We'll do that when we work out what the go is with that, so we can get rid of it. Yeah, so a bit of time spent on the bank rate there. So let's good fun. So next stage is to download I always do the payroll reports, and then I do the O3 reports, activity statement. So payroll employee summary, payroll activity summary. Make sure you know what period you're doing the wages for. Some clients are monthly, so this client's quarterly though. They don't do monthly activity statements for their wages. So we've got last quarter, export them. And you can see the post-tax voluntary contributions, like I mentioned before in that note. I'm going to call this further down the line, so 06. Cool. So essentially checking the wages figures. Now what you want to do as well, so we've downloaded the payroll reports. Now we just want to check. I always do a quick check of wages payable to see that it is clearing out. The amounts are getting off. I need to ask the client, if the wages don't reconcile, are people overpaid, underpaid, have pay runs being posted correctly? So always good to check this. Zero loads. All right, cool. So we started off with no opening balance, which is good because wages reconciled, and we've closed off with no balance because the payments matched the pay runs, which is good. It's just a quick check. So now we're going to download the activity statement and start developing our queries. So we'll go through the Excel document, see if there's anything we need to get from the client. If not, we're going to shoot this off and shoot up the query email, and then once it comes back, we'll wrap up the BAS. So right here, yep. So just export this into Excel. So you can see I'm just going through the list. So at the moment we've got, we've got the payroll report, it's giving the O3 report now. And then we're going to request these statements as well. And that will mean we'll be able to wrap up the BAS once we get them. Taking its time. All right, cool. We've got that, so we drag that across. I'm just naming that 03 activity statement. Client activity statement because it's come straight from the client without any changes from us. Yep. So you can see here, someone's opening that up. All right, so what we want to do is, first thing is sort all of these columns out so we can see everything a bit clearer. So we sort the columns by B and D. So that's account first, and then just the details after that. Open it up a bit. She's got a lot of income items. Same with annuals. It's just a reminder for me because this client's got a few different items that we do. So we split their kiosk purchase and sales 70-30% GST free. It's just a kind of, you can use a generic amount depending on what your average is, just to save you recording GST free, GST on purchases and sales and stuff. So we do for them. So I'll explain that once we send the queries out in the next video. So this is the finance purchase that I picked up, the cost limit for the new Land Cruiser, so that's fine. And the query that he's already sent all those documents through. Right, I'll do that. Sort. Yeah, cool. So he's a sucker for this one. I should really set a bank call for this just to make sure it doesn't happen again. I can already see there, they should go to subscriptions and not accounting fees. That's for the 0 subs. It's just for me to remember to change that later. And we'll do the last few. So GST free. I'm going to start from. I'm still going to change those account names as well later. Start from the top. So when you're going through reviewing the income accounts, you're generally just looking for any big items, any big negatives and things like that stand out. Generally you leave the client to themselves to reconcile income. We shouldn't really be touching it unless it's really obvious mistake, something with GST that shouldn't. Say it's not your ordinary income, it might be, government subsidies and things like that, and they've recorded GST. We'll definitely change that. But anything that's, the general course of income, don't normally want to make any changes. It's all pretty much on the client. So this client here, he's pretty specific with his invoicing. He's very particular. I check off the invoicing for his annuals each quarter before he does the next round of invoicing. So yeah, he's quite good. Now this is for the sale of the motor vehicle, which is fine. He sold the RAV4. I'm just going to make a note about these kiosk items because I'll need to just all in yellow. It's quite blinding. Accommodation annual, so this is all fine. Looks like he's offered them some discounts. Let's say I might just check a couple of the invoices just to make sure that's what's happened. Yeah, so he's offered a COVID discount. That's fine. All right, so through all there, lots of annuals. This client, Park pretty much lives off annuals, so. And you can maybe I see at the end. So the annuals get the concession GST. So that's why it's 5.5%. You'll see, not 10%. So we've got the documents for this. If we didn't, we would definitely request motor vehicle expenses. Now admin costs. I know I'm just going to recode that. So printing and stationery. It's always good to get a look at last quarter what we changed. If you want to, you can open up, say September 03 report, and it'll give me an insight of like the similar tendencies this client has in terms of reconciling. If I go up through this, actually I'll see that admin cost was credited to as well last time. So let's go sales. So you have the costs there. So all sorts of stuff he puts to admin, there's no way to put it. So we just split that out. So you'll see if you're using things. So yeah, it's good to have this up because then you can know where to recode things. So I might just keep this on the screen just in case. So okay, deposits, that's fine. Clean computer, that's fine. Another thing I'd also do as well is have up the profit and loss statement. It's good to check with this because you can see any obvious things as well with this if something stands out. So you might want to run, say, the December quarter, run it for 3 months, compare it to the previous 3 quarters potentially. And that way, if you see a one-off item that stands out, it's a good idea to query that. So So looking at this, I understand that is that, which is the motor vehicle there. Admin costs, like I said, you can see there's none previously, so we're going to reallocate that. Everything else seems okay. Cleaning expenses, very big high. Electricity, entertainment. I know that's not entertainment. We'll get to that. Gas a bit high, maybe. Insurance CBL, if we bring that in once we get the statements. Internet expenses is usually high. I don't know if that's normal. Let's have a look at that. So the entertainment is gains. So that's actually just going to be like small capital items. It's just gains for the actual park. Visitors, what is it? Internet expenses. WebWorks, email, web page. That's advertising costs. Also, what's website costs? Advertising. I'd say internet website costs. I'm making an account for that, or I might put to advertising. See if we've had anything previously. So what I might do is just search that in the WebWorks. So he's only spent it once before. So it's the first time. So I'll just have a look at what WebWorks is. Okay, if that's what it is, then we're getting rid of it. We might have to query him. So look, because it might be for his kids. This could be a WebWorks LLP email. WebWorks LLP email. Get rid of that. It's amazing some of the things you find when you're just not even thinking you're going to find anything. But that's what a quick check of the profit and loss statement does. So let's see who actually spent the money to. So WebWorks LLP email web page. Yeah, we've got websites. Yeah, no, we'll leave that. Websites, we'll call it websites advertising costs. That's fine. Probably leave it as advertising or website. That's all good. Merchant fees, fine. Radio insurance. Make a note to check these and adjust them because we probably will need to. You can see that's its GST portion 78. We haven't updated that. The big roads, probably need to prorate that. Adjust the GST. This one I know is correct because I did that once, so that's fine. Yeah, we don't normally request invoices for radio and insurance. It's just too fiddly for clients. And the GST adjustments are very minor, so we generally leave it unless we know what the GST roughly would be. We adjusted it, that's fine. It's got personalised plates, that's all fine. Making a note as well with the purchases for the kiosk because they will be split. So we do the 70-30 GST split thing. Once we finish the job list, that's fine. Anything else that stands out? So no, newspapers, rent. Did we pay that last? We did. Repairs and maintenance. Anything in here? All general repairs, fire checks, arborist for the grounds, that's fine. Sewage, tools. Probably put that to small capital items. Like replacement tools and stuff. Dryer repairs and vinyl floor, so that's replacing vinyl floor, that's fine. Probably just put this to a specific R&M account. Maybe just 42804 so it doesn't sit in that one that hasn't got anything else. Now he's got interesting one with this client. He claims his dog is security guard, so we always just leave it. So it's okay for his dog food and all dog stuff to go through security costs within reason, I would say. Staff gifts. So again, if it's under the 300 amount per employee, generally fine. So I'd leave those staff training and welfare. It's got staff dinners and stuff he's put through as well. So yeah, these are gift cards, so that's fine. And we'll just check. So I can have a look while I'm doing this. Usually don't have GST, I might just check that. Yeah, GST not applied to the sale of gift cards, so that should be GST 3. And that one, probably just might just say to check it as well. Sometimes I check like what we did last year as well in this account, so it's good to just get a full overview of what's gone through here. As he claimed stuff last year for say staff gifts as well. Yeah, so staff gifts there. Correctly missed the GST on that one before. Christmas gifts, so that's fine. Christmas gifts as well. Sometimes if they go to like clients as well, that's also fine. So I'd say this is all little bits and bobs for each client, each either customer or employee. So that's fine. Just gonna leave it. Take off the GST on the gift cards. Park membership, that's all good. Face masks, yes, definitely fine during COVID. Work cover. Just check if we have that on file. If not, I'll request it. Unless he's on installments. Cool. Okay. So work cover. I'm just checking VC as well quickly to see if we have anything for work cover for him. Sometimes we do their work cover for, so we have a login and we can obtain the invoices whenever we want, which is handy. Other ones we don't, and we request the work cover documents each time. So that's all stuff. Got an invoice here. 2020 financial year. Page. Now I'll request a copy of the invoice. So we've got 3. amounts do we have here? So 3921. So we've got the 37. And so we haven't got from that. This is the latest one we've got. Latest two we've got. Yes, I'll request the 2020-2021 work cover statement. It's the old one. Did you actually did say 2021? Okay, cool. So it's going to query both of those items. What I generally do is just move the word cover the gross amount because they can see the gross amount instead of the net amount. So take a screenshot of. I want a copy of these two items. Oh yeah. So got that donations that fine. So that's all good. Yeah, that's a big. I'll update that. Make a note to myself. Scan through this. So this is all these annuals and credit. So keep track of how much the annuals owed him. When we get down to the good stuff, so back fees, this is all GST free stuff. It's going to affect the management reports. So I've gone through and normally check that each of the high purchases have 3 payments. Or if they're monthly, if they're weekly, you've got more. So for instance, my one here, check the GST for the prior quarter BAS. So I'm going to make sure that's been split correctly. So I've got GST 1718. What do I have here? It's got 1460, so he hasn't split that. So we're going to split GST. So make a note here. Expense account nets off. That's what I did with the motor vehicle. So that's fine. That's all good. So that's pretty much it for now. So I'm going to shoot that email off to Duncan, and when that gets back, we'll be able to wrap up the BAS. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to send an email to Duncan, obviously. Queries 20, send a 2020 queries is really good. And then just save the email as well, file it into virtual cabinet so you have a copy of it. 2020 December. So activity statements, 2020 December, file. Yeah. Awesome, that's it, send. All right, so that is officially a BAS to queries. Now, once that's done, you jump into your planner. So BAS you're working on, so DMP Jones BAS. So I've started the BAS, I've actually started that today. And the BAS is now at queries, so I'll update that as well. And that is all. Thanks for watching.